on my case. First, my opponent stated that there are no side effects to medical marijuana. However, I'm not sure if you heard, but my evidence stated that there are actual side effects. I'll read it again. Chronic or regular use of medical marijuana or marijuana in general is associated with diagnoses of marijuana use disorders. Such disorders are associated with withdrawal, unemployment, personality dysfunction, crime, respiratory problems, and other psychiatric disorders. Let me highlight the important ones: withdrawal, personality dysfunction, respiratory problems, and psychiatric disorders. Those sound all like side effects to me. Another one would be some more evidence is that there's also an increased risk of certain cancers. I'll just read it, is that another argument against the use of medical marijuana asserts that marijuana increases the risks of developing certain types of cancer, such as lung and testicular cancer. The National Institute on Drug Abuse states that marijuana smoke can cause cancer of the respiratory tract because of the irritants and carcinogens it contains. They also stated that marijuana smoke contains 50 to 70% more carcinogenic hydrocarbons than tobacco does. So he was talking about how tobacco kills people. Well, marijuana actually has more of the bad stuff than tobacco does. Moving on, he was talking about how cocaine and heroin cause death. Well, cocaine and heroin put people in a sort of psychosis, and depending on the strain, so can medical marijuana, as my colleague just stated. Further, the argument that marijuana doesn't cause death is irrelevant. The definition of Schedule I is that it's a drug that has a high risk of abuse and has adverse effects like the withdrawal and psychiatric disorders that I mentioned above. He kept going on about acupuncture being expensive and how marijuana is cheaper. Chemotherapy is expensive. ER bills are expensive. Medical care is expensive. Acupuncture, yes, it is expensive, but I'm mentioning it as another form of treatment than marijuana that is more homeopathic, which would probably, appeal to those people who are more likely to use marijuana because it's one of those homeopathic remedies such as such. So is acupuncture, it's not an actual medication. So really, he's bringing up stuff that isn't really necessarily accurate, and